And good morning. As you can see, we're junkyarding. So trying to get this Ford back on the road. Found an I-beam on an old Ford out here at the pull part in Augusta. So we took a couple-hour car ride this morning. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this thing off here, hopefully, and then get it home. Hopefully tomorrow get it back on and back on the road. This is where you need a Snickers.
Hey, that one came off pretty cool, easy.
Yep.
Unusual.
What's bad is I could almost use those wheels.
Yeah.
Because my front ones aren't the originals.
Yeah.
Face.
Ignore the hairdo on him. I just had to get it out of his face.
You don't like the samurai look?
It's not perfect. It just...
Well, you know, they really do judge your hair at pull apart.
Yeah. We forgot a hat.
I soaked it for days at home. I went out a week ahead, soaked it, and went out every day and soaked with PB blaster. So when it was time, it fell right out.
Yeah. You couldn't do that here.
Nope. Trying to gauge if it's moving at all or not. So this definitely moves on the kingpin.
Yeah.
So that means the kingpin is seized in there, which is kind of good. That means that's not wallered out too bad.
Yeah.
Which that's why mine probably fell out easy too.
Yeah, because it was wallered out.
Yeah. So the I-beam wasn't holding the kingpin well, so it just pushed out. Yeah, because kingpin's not spinning.
You're stuck.
Yep.
It's slowly coming apart.
Yeah. To get to this thing now. more try at the kingpin, and then we're buying the whole thing.
Okay.
So I got it pulled out, I just can't get the kingpin to bust loose. So I might have to buy the I-beam and the spindle, which can't find an I-beam anywhere else, so if it is what it is, so be it. But I'm gonna bang on it for a couple more minutes, see if I can get them apart. If not, we'll go get a wheelbarrow and buy the whole thing. Alright, well, good news, bad news. Good news is we got the I-beam and everything at pull apart. Unfortunately, I spent more than I wanted to on it. It was closer to $100, should have been about 30 or 40. But since I couldn't get that kingpin off, they had to charge me for the whole hub assembly. But still, under $100 at this point if it gets it on the road. Awesome. As well as the Junkyard, I put plenty of PV blaster on it. But we're not allowed to have torches out there, so now it's that step. So I'm going to heat this thing up and see if I can get it apart. Yeah, it's gonna.
It does not want to come apart, huh?
It is not. So, might be soaking it, leaving it for tomorrow, and then
Try it again.
try again. I'll give it a few more shots, but it is not going well.
Just burning off the PV blaster and all the junk on it.
All the grease and grime that's built up over the years. Yeah, let it cool down. Douse with blaster and let it sit till tomorrow. Alright, so back here on the truck, I got the I-beam installed and all back together. The I-beam I got from pull apart, unfortunately, was a little bent when I got it home to put it on. Lucky enough, I have a neighbor that has a forge. So, little heat, a little bending. We got it to where it appears to be lined up correctly. So I'm going to do a quick alignment on it and then we'll test drive it today.
Rolled something?
Not yet. So I'm going to get this thing up higher off the ground, I believe. Alright, well, it's at least off the jack stands for the first time in months. So now grab some lunch and then go test drive it and hope for the best. Alright, so the truck's down on the ground and running. It's the first time it's been off jack stands in months. So about to go take it for a spin and see what happens.
Yep, that's not good. Well, that's not good.
Well, I'm wondering if the linkage got bumped. It's just like it's not going into gear as I select.
Oh.
So I gotta check linkage now. Well, while I had this thing down, I did the transmission fluid and filter. I'd started it a couple times since then and added fluid numerous times, but I think it's 10 to 15 quarts of fluid it takes. I've put about 10 in there. It's still reading low once it warms up on the dipstick, so I think it's just not coming into gear because of the low fluid. But I've put all the fluid I have in there, so gonna have to go to town, get a few more quarts, and then we'll try this again. All right, so I've added a couple quarts of transmission fluid and it's going into gear now, so it looks like that's all it was, just a little low. So I'm gonna make attempt number 2 at a test drive here. All right, test drive went pretty well. Well, are you photobombing or not?
Yes.
Shanna likes to photobomb midway. Yeah, test drive went pretty well. The brakes are still crap, so I'm gonna have to rebleed them or see what's going on there. Was looking through, and this has like an extra not a proportioning valve, but another valve you have to release to bleed these, which I didn't do last time because it wasn't aware it was there. So I gotta verify that is on here and do that again. And alignment was still a little bit off, but it's better than it was before all the parts changes. So I'll mess with that a little bit, see if I want to tweak it. It's good enough, I could probably take it to a shop and have it done the right way. So yeah, rebleed the brakes, get in alignment, and then got to get the rest of the exhaust finished up still. But other than that, it's good enough I can start driving it a little bit. So we'll see where we go from here. Okay, for anyone wondering, I am on the driver's side right behind the front tire. So, see your steering linkage. Right here is your proportioning valve, which you can see mine is encrusted in all kinds of stuff. So, I'm going to try to clean that up and see if I can figure out where the rod you're supposed to pull out during bleeding is. According to the manual, which, yeah, turns out it helps read the manual, there's a rod on there. If it's under 6,800 pound vehicle, you pull the rod out. If it's over, you push it in and then bleed the brakes. So see if I can find that. So bottom of the proportioning valve here, cleaned it up. It looks like this is the rod. It says to pull, oh yeah, you pull this out, hold it with a vice grip, and then bleed the brakes.